It was just past 11 p.m. on a stormy October night in 2019. Rain slammed against the windows so hard it felt like the sky itself was breaking apart. Thunder rolled through the neighborhood, rattling the glass panes of my small rental house. Each flash of lightning painted the walls with sharp, shifting shadows, and the wind outside howled like something alive. I was sprawled on my couch, phone in hand, aimlessly scrolling through TikTok, spooky Halloween clips, random dance videos, the usual late-night noise that fills an empty house. The dim blue glow from the screen was the only light in the room, and with the storm raging outside, it almost felt like I was sitting inside a scene from a horror movie. Then my phone buzzed. An unknown local number flashed across the screen. I frowned. Who would call at this hour? Still, I answered. Hello? Through the sound of pouring rain, a trembling woman's voice cut through. Hi, is this the guy next door? I sat up instantly. Yeah, who's this? It's Mia, from the house next to yours. Her voice shook with panic. I'm so sorry to call this late, but I didn't know who else to reach out to. My heartbeat quickened. Mia. My neighbor. The woman I'd quietly admired from a distance for the past 6 months. Before I go on, let me explain. My name's Clark, I'm 25, a software developer working for a small tech startup. I live in a quiet suburban neighborhood. The kind of place where nothing ever happens. Neatly trimmed lawns, mailboxes in a straight line, kids on bikes until sunset, and neighbors who wave but never really talk. My little rental house is filled with secondhand furniture, a couch that's seen better days, a wobbly coffee table, and a fridge full of takeout containers. My evenings usually pass in a blur of code, Netflix, and scrolling through my phone. And then 6 months ago, Mia moved in. She's 48, recently divorced, and absolutely stunning. The kind of woman who seems to belong in a different world. Perfect blonde hair, calm green eyes, and a grace that makes time slow down when she smiles. Her silver BMW always gleams in the driveway. Her home looks like something out of an interior design magazine. Tasteful, elegant, polished. The 23-year age gap between us made her feel untouchable. Our interactions were polite, a smile at the mailbox, a quick, need help with those groceries? Nothing more. But every time I saw her, something in me stirred. I told myself it was just a harmless crush. She was way out of my league, successful, confident, everything I wasn't. But even then, I couldn't help glancing out the window whenever I heard her car pull in, hoping for a glimpse of her. And now, here she was, calling me, her voice trembling in fear. Clark, she said, I think there's something in my house. I straightened up. Something? Like someone? I don't know, she whispered. I keep hearing footsteps, creaks, like someone's moving downstairs. But it's not just that, it feels wrong. Like a presence, not a person. I'm upstairs, door locked, but I'm terrified. Her words sent a chill down my spine. Did you call the police? I did. They said it might take 30 minutes. The storm's causing chaos all over town. Her voice cracked. Clark, I know it's a lot to ask, but could you come over? I'm alone. You're the only one close enough. Without thinking, I said, I'm on my way. Stay on the phone. Keep your door locked. Thank you, she breathed. Please hurry. I grabbed the flashlight from my kitchen and the old baseball bat by the door, more for courage than protection, threw on my raincoat, and stepped out into the storm. Rain lashed against my face, soaking my shoes instantly as I crossed the lawn between our houses. Lightning flashed, illuminating her home. Elegant, but under the violent sky, it looked almost haunted. I'm at your front door, I said into the phone. No broken windows, no sign of a break-in. The downstairs looks dark. You're sure you heard something? Yes, she whispered. Footsteps. And the back door creaked, like someone opened it. But Clark, it's more than that. It feels like something's watching me. I know it sounds crazy, but ever since I moved here, it's been like this. My pulse quickened. Her words carried something that felt heavier than fear. Something unseen. All right, I said. I'll check around outside first. I circled the house, the flashlight beam cutting through sheets of rain. Every window was locked. Every door looked secure. No footprints, no broken glass. Still, something felt wrong. The air felt thick, heavy. Each gust of wind sounded like a whisper. Mia, I said, my voice low but steady. Everything looks fine outside. I'm coming to the door now. Can you open it for me? Okay, she said, voice trembling. A few seconds later, I heard footsteps, then the sound of locks turning. The door opened, and there she was. Mia stood in the doorway, framed by the soft light of her hallway chandelier. Her pale blue nightgown clung to her, slightly damp from the humidity. The the sheer fabric tracing the outline of her body. But it wasn't the sight that struck me. It was her expression. Her perfect composure was gone. Her eyes were wide with fear, her hair loose and messy, her voice trembling. "Thank you for coming," she said softly. "I know it's crazy to call you like this, but I didn't know what else to do." "It's okay," I said gently. "Let me take a look around." I stepped inside. The house smelled faintly of lavender and red wine. The decor was flawless. Modern furniture, polished wood floors, soft lighting. But beneath all that elegance, the atmosphere felt heavy, oppressive, like the storm had seeped into the walls. Flashlight in hand, I moved through the rooms. Kitchen, living room, back hallway. Everything was untouched. No open doors, no signs of forced entry. And yet, as I passed the staircase, a cold draft brushed against my neck. For just a second, I thought I heard a whisper. Faint. Wordless. I froze. The beam of my flashlight trembled slightly, but there was nothing. Only the rain. By the time I returned to the living room, Mia was curled up on the cream sofa, arms wrapped around herself, shivering. "Did you find anything?" she asked, her voice small. "Nothing," I said, trying to sound calm. "Every window's locked. Every door's secure. No one's here. But you said this isn't the first time you've felt it." She nodded, looking down. "Ever since I moved in. Sometimes at night I hear things. Footsteps, whispers, doors creaking. It's worse when it rains. I thought I was imagining it, but tonight, it felt real. Like something was right outside my door." I sat across from her. "You're not crazy, Mia. The storm, the stress, it can mess with your senses. Maybe it's just..." She gave a small, nervous laugh. "Is it that obvious I'm falling apart?" "Not at all," I said gently. "You just seem like you're carrying a lot." Her expression softened. "I guess I am." She pulled her knees close, the movement drawing the nightgown slightly higher. Her eyes glistened under the soft light. "Since the divorce, it's just been me. This big house and my thoughts. I thought I'd be okay, but the silence..." Her voice broke. "It gets loud. It's like the loneliness has a heartbeat." Something in my chest tightened. "Mia," I said quietly, "you're not alone in that." She looked up, surprised. "You've noticed?" "I notice a lot," I said before I could stop myself. "The way you always smile, but your eyes look tired. The way your house is perfect, but your car stays parked all weekend. I don't know. I just see you." Her breath caught slightly. "What else do you see, Clark?" she whispered. The question hung in the air. Outside, thunder cracked, and the lights flickered. Then everything went dark. The storm swallowed the room in shadows. Only my flashlight cast a thin beam across her face. "Mia," I said softly. "I'm here." "You're not alone." She reached for my hand in the dark, her fingers trembling. And in that moment, something shifted. The storm still roared outside, but inside, it was like time had stopped. Whatever this night was, it wasn't just about fear anymore. It was the beginning of something neither of us could have expected. The thunder cracked again, shaking Mia's house as the power flickered out, plunging us into near darkness. The only light came from my flashlight's faint beam and the occasional flash of lightning through the windows, painting her living room in stark, fleeting shadows. Mia's gasp cut through the storm's roar, and as our hands brushed in the dark, I felt a spark. Not just from the tension of the moment, but from something deeper, something alive between us. The rain pounded the roof, a relentless drumbeat, and the air in her elegant suburban home felt heavy, charged, like the storm was holding its breath. I'd come here to check for an intruder, a ghost, something to explain her fear, but now, sitting inches from her on that cream-colored sofa, I realized the real weight wasn't in the shadows, it was in her eyes. "Mia," I said, my voice steady despite the chaos outside. "I'm here. You're not alone." She exhaled, her shoulders trembling, and in the dim light, I saw her green eyes glistening with unshed tears. Her sheer nightgown clung to her, the pale blue fabric almost glowing in the flashlight's beam, accentuating every curve. I forced my gaze to stay on her face, but the air between us crackled with an intensity I couldn't ignore. "Clark," she whispered, her voice raw. "I don't even know where to start. I feel so foolish, dragging you out in this storm over..." "What? A feeling? A ghost I can't prove exists?" "You're not foolish," I said, leaning closer, my flashlight resting on the coffee table between us. "You were scared, and you called me. That's not foolish, it's brave. And I'm glad you did." She looked at me, her expression softening, and for a moment the storm seemed to fade, the world narrowing to just us. "You don't think I'm crazy?" she asked, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "No," I said firmly. "I think you're human, and I think you've been carrying a lot on your own." Her smile faded, replaced by something more vulnerable, more real. She shifted on the sofa, tucking her legs under her, the nightgown slipping slightly to reveal the smooth line of her thigh. I swallowed hard, focusing on her words as she spoke. "You're right," she said, her voice barely above the rain's rhythm. "I've been alone for so long, Clark. Since my divorce 2 years ago, it's just been me in this house. I thought moving here would be a fresh start, a way to rebuild after my marriage fell apart. But the nights, they're endless. I lie awake, hearing every creak, every whisper of this house, and it feels like it's alive, like it's feeding on my loneliness." Her words hit me hard, each one heavy with a pain I hadn't seen behind her polished exterior. "Mia," I said, "what happened? I mean, if you want to talk about it. You don't have to, but I'm here." She looked down, her fingers tracing the edge of her nightgown, and for a moment, I thought she wouldn't answer. Then she took a deep breath, her eyes meeting mine with a raw honesty that made my chest tighten. "My marriage wasn't what it seemed," she said. "On the outside, we were perfect. Big house, fancy cars, vacations in Europe. But inside, it was cold. My ex-husband was distant, always working, always elsewhere. We stopped connecting, stopped touching, stopped seeing each other. I felt invisible, Clark. And when it ended, I thought I'd feel free, but instead I just felt empty. Like I'd lost a part of myself I didn't even know I needed." Her voice cracked, and she looked away, blinking rapidly. "I haven't felt desired in years," she continued, her words softer now, almost a confession. "Not just loved, but wanted, really wanted body and soul. And living here, in this beautiful empty house, it's like the silence screams at me every night. I hear things, footsteps, whispers, and I know it's probably just my mind, but sometimes I wonder if it's the house, or something in it, echoing how alone I feel." The weight of her words settled over me, and I realized the ghost she'd been sensing wasn't just a spooky Halloween season story. It was her, a projection of her isolation, her longing, her unfulfilled desires. The storm outside seemed to mirror the storm inside her, and I felt an ache to reach out, to bridge the gap between us. "Mia," I said, my voice low, "that's not just the house. That's you, carrying all this pain alone, and you don't have to." She looked at me, her eyes searching mine, and I saw something shift. Fear giving way to curiosity, maybe even hope. "You're so young," she said almost to herself. "You can't possibly understand what it's like to feel this hollow." "Maybe not exactly," I admitted, leaning closer, our knees almost touching now. "But I know what it's like to feel like you're searching for something more. I'm 25, Mia, and yeah, I've got my job, my routine, but sometimes I wonder if this is it, if this is all my life's gonna be. Coding, takeout, TikTok at midnight. I see you, living this incredible life, and I think, she's got it all figured out. But now, hearing you, I realize we're not so different. We're both trying to fill a void." Her lips parted, and she leaned forward, closing the small distance between us. The flashlight's beam cast soft shadows across her face, highlighting the vulnerability in her expression. "You think I have it all figured out?" she said, a bitter laugh escaping her. "Clark, I'm a 48-year-old woman living in a house that feels like a museum to a life I don't even recognize anymore. I put on this perfect facade every day, but inside I'm terrified I'll never feel alive again." "You are alive," I said, my voice fiercer than I intended. "You're here right now with me, and you're more real, more beautiful than any facade. I've seen you, Mia. Every morning at the mailbox, every time you smile and wave like everything's fine. But tonight, seeing you like this, scared and honest, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Her breath caught, and for a moment, we just stared at each other, the storm's rumble fading into the background. The air between us was electric, charged with a tension that wasn't just about her fear or my need to comfort her. It was something deeper, something that made my heart pound harder than the rain outside. "Clark," she said, her voice barely a whisper, "you don't know what you're saying. I'm too old for you, too broken, too—" "Stop," I interrupted, my hand reaching out to touch hers, my fingers brushing her skin. Her hand was warm, trembling slightly, and I didn't pull away. "You're not broken. You're human, and you're not too anything. I see you, Mia, and I can't stop seeing you." She didn't pull her hand back. Instead, she turned it over, her fingers curling around mine, and the simple touch sent a jolt through me. The storm outside seemed to pause, the rain a soft hum now, and in the flickering light, I saw her eyes soften, her guard dropping. "I called you tonight because I was scared," she said, her voice steady now. "But not just of the noises or whatever this presence is. I was scared of another night alone, of facing this emptiness without someone to anchor me. And you came. I'll always come," I said, the words spilling out before I could think. You don't have to face anything alone, Mia. Not tonight, not ever. Her eyes searched mine, and for the first time, I saw a spark of something beyond fear. Desire, maybe, or the beginning of trust. She leaned closer, her breath warm against my cheek, and the scent of her perfume, something floral and expensive, filled my senses. The nightgown shifted as she moved, revealing more of her shoulder, and I felt my pulse race, a mix of protectiveness and something far less innocent. But it wasn't just physical. It was her, the way she was letting me see her, all of her for the first time. "Clark," she said, her voice low, intimate. "Do you ever feel like you're waiting for something, but you don't know what it is? Like there's a piece of you missing and you're just drifting?" "All the time," I admitted, my thumb brushing against her hand, still clasped in mine. "But right now, sitting here with you, I don't feel like I'm drifting. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." She smiled, a real smile. Not the polished one I'd seen at the mailbox, but something soft, unguarded. "You're too kind," she said. But there was no dismissal in her tone, only warmth. Most people your age wouldn't be here, sitting with their crazy neighbor in the middle of a storm, listening to her ramble about ghosts and loneliness. "You're not crazy," I said, squeezing her hand gently. "And I'm not most people." The storm picked up again, a gust of wind rattling the windows. But it didn't break the moment. We sat there, hands entwined, the flashlight casting a soft glow around us. And then slowly she began to talk, not just about the noises, but about everything. Her marriage, how it had crumbled under years of neglect, leaving her feeling invisible. Her move to this house, hoping for a new beginning, only to find the silence deafening. Her nights spent awake, craving connection, touch, the feeling of being wanted. Every word was a window into her soul. And I listened, not just because I wanted to help, but because I wanted to know her, every part of her. As she spoke, I began to understand the ghost she'd been feeling. It wasn't just a spooky story or a haunted house trope. It was her loneliness, her unfulfilled desires, manifesting as whispers in the dark, as footsteps in an empty hallway. The house wasn't haunted by some long-dead spirit. It was haunted by Mia, by the weight of her solitude. And the more we talked, the more I felt that weight lifting, the air in the room growing lighter, as if our connection was pushing the shadows back. "Clark," she said after a long pause, her voice softer now. "I don't know what this is, or if I'm reading too much into it, but I haven't felt this seen in years, not by anyone." "You're not reading too much into it," I said, my voice steady, my eyes locked on hers. "I'm here, Mia, and I see you. Really see you." She leaned closer, her face inches from mine, and for a moment I thought she might kiss me. The tension was unbearable, a mix of tenderness and desire that made my heart pound. But instead, she rested her forehead against mine, her breath warm and uneven. "Stay with me," she whispered. "Just for tonight. Not for anything. Just so I don't have to be alone." I nodded, my throat tight. "I'm not going anywhere." We stayed like that, talking until the storm began to quiet, the rain softening to a gentle patter. We talked about everything, her fears, my dreams, the lives we'd been living in parallel, separated by a lawn and a lifetime of experience. And as the hours passed, I felt the presence she'd been so afraid of fading, replaced by something new, something real. By the time the first light of dawn broke through the windows, painting the room in soft grays, I knew we'd crossed a line we couldn't uncross. That night changed everything. Mia and I didn't just find each other in the storm. We found a way to fill the voids we'd both been carrying. The ghost, the whispers, the creaks. They stopped after that night, as if her loneliness had been the real intruder and our connection had banished it. We spent the next weeks, months, building something neither of us expected. A relationship that defied the age gap, the doubts, the whispers of neighbors who didn't understand. It wasn't easy, navigating the stairs, the questions, the differences in our lives. But it was worth it. Because with Mia, I found something I hadn't even known I was searching for. Fast forward to today, October 2025, and I'm telling you this story from a different place. Today marks 5 years since Mia and I got married. We have a little boy now, a 3-year-old with her green eyes and my stubborn streak, and we're happier than I ever thought possible. That stormy night in 2019 when Mia called me, scared of a ghost that was really her own loneliness, taught us both something. No matter how dark the night, how loud the storm, love can silence any fear. Now, no ghost or spirit will ever bother her in the rain or storm again. Not as long as I'm by her side. If you liked our story, if it touched you or made you believe in connection, hit that like button and subscribe to Secret Stories for more tales of hidden moments and unexpected love. Leave a sweet comment with your best wishes for us. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.